Toucan Play That Game is proudly sponsored by NiceGameShop.com, the place to go for rare and unusual Asian games.
Tabletop Generation. This has been many years coming, and it has filled my existence for almost 3 years now, actually. I literally started it around about the time my son was born, and he can now play board games. So he's only 2.5 years ahead of his time, but he can play board games. So, what is Tabletop Generation? We've had numerous passes of this, how to define this, and it's always been, well, how is this different to Board Game Geek? It's always the question. And it's quite an easy answer, but it's very hard to see when you sort of go in blind. So we've gone with the words connect, collaborate, and create. So what we've tried to create here is a platform where if you are a budding game designer, if you have an idea, or if you're an artist who is interested in board games, a place to come to show off and get help with whatever you are trying to make. So we have a platform for showing off board games, everything from earliest concept to fully published, which is where the BGG overlap is, of course. But of course on BGG, you only get on once you're published. So this is leading up to that point. So we've been trying to connect designers and artists, and also, and more importantly almost, the audience pre-Kickstarter, to get people to look at your game, to follow the development of your game as a developer diary or whatever you want to refer it to. That by the time you go to Kickstarter, you already have lots of people ready to go who want your game, ready to help you hit that first milestone almost instantly when you go to crowdfund. So if we have a look actually at the site, we actually have here on the first page one of my favorite new games that's coming, Tex-Mex. So Tex-Mex is an awesome new collaboration between a whole bunch of people who met a few hours ago. And here is the Tex-Mex project. So we're playtesting with Lego right now. So that's one of our awesome customized
I told you there
projects.
was lots of playtesting.
And here on the site, what we're showing already is the hook of the game, what it's about, the time it takes to play, the number of players, the age, the categories that it features, sort of cooperative, miniature game, the mechanics, engine building, action and movement programming. And here then we have some collaborators who have access to this page and can change it and do what they wish. So, here's all about it. Pretty. Here's more playtesting. Figuring out how it works. So this is instantly live. It took us a few minutes to get it up there. And that's fine. I mean, any sort of web hosting could do that. You could put the project up. But
important to note, you can choose yourself when you want to put it live. You can also keep
Yes.
a project hidden as long as you want until you're ready to make it live for
just like Kickstarter, you'll be designing it in the background and you decide when to put it live. I mean, not every change is done and everything. So,
But we found after 30 minutes.
yeah, it was good to go. So, what we've tried to create here, and the way I've actually designed it from a tech point of view, is it is a social network. And absolutely down to the base level, it is a social network. So if I'm going to bring this up and this will impress tech people, here is a bunch of projects on the site. Okay? Just a whole bunch of bullets. When I double click on one, this is what it links to. Every user that's liked it, every other game that shares mechanics with it, or categories with it, and all of this is how this database is generally. So this person is following this project, this person has commented on this project, and everything is completely intertwined to make it really quite interesting. So you'll get to the point where you can go here and you can say, I want to see all games with the 2 to 4 players that includes deck building that at least 4 of my friends have liked. And you'll be able to return that instantly. So if we go back and we have a look at our search. So here's the latest project searches. So Tex-Mex is the most recent one, is up there right there. Here is the level of filter we're talking about. Minimum age, the categories that it's involved in, and everything that you could possibly need to filter through. And the same is for company pages, users, blog posts, and we have artwork and stuff. So this is just a project, full notification system here. The new collaborator has joined TechMax. It's good. So he's ready to help collaborate. There he is. He was actually pending a second ago, so I guess he did it right now. We have everything a social network would have, from full chat against all the people I want to talk to, and so on. And then, if we go to a profile page, which is me, the idea was to mix designers and artists. That was the original concept. How does an artist show off his work? How does he find a board game to work on? How does a new board game designer find an artist? So we've defined everybody into services. Whoops, that's not the right place, sorry. Into services. So edit my services. I have decided that I can do a few different things. I can do art and illustration, I can do play testing, game design, reviews. But then there are more services. So every single sort of user on the site is showing their skills in what they can do. So this will change how your page shows as well. So as I've selected art and illustration, on my profile page I have a gallery where I can put all my artwork. I mean, a lot of people are using DeviantArt and all that sort of stuff, and of course we'll have a link from here to DeviantArt. But the idea is to sort of take your best work here and put it on the site as well. So if we actually go to a user that has some art, so here, he's got his artwork all being shown off, and it's commentable and likable and everything you kind of expect from this sort of site. And actually, that's a decent example of the project as well. See, we've tried to do a sort of what you see is what you get editor, very similar to Kickstarter, the same sort of level of control, full width images, a few different fonts, a few different this to start showing it all off. But again, it's a social network, so what else is there? There is, of course, a timeline, because people are going to be posting their developer diary posts and saying, I've done this, I've done that. So if you go to my dashboard, all the people that I'm following, this is the content they've been posting. So this is from Pirate Wars. I would like to let you know our board game Pirate Wars is at its final stage, and this is all the activity of all the projects that I'm following, full on of all their sort of development and where they've been going. Here's some artwork was posted, this guy updated his description, and so on. In addition to that, we have a requests page, which is where if you are designing a board game, you say, I need an artist. And it will go to all the people who have their service tagged as an artist, and they can, for example, filter down their preferences even further. They can say, I only want to work on deck builders. I like art, but it's got to be a deck builder. And they can lock it down to that point. And then you see what's interesting, read about it, and apply. And the receiving end will be the designer of the board game. We'll get a few different artists saying, I want to work on your game. And we can post these as either requests or jobs. Requests is more, I need help. Jobs is more, I'm kind of willing to pay. You know? Which is both, of course, would be important. In addition to that, we have company pages. So this is the actual page for the actual site. But here, it's very similar to a project, but you'll be able to put all the games the company has published, stuff like that. And also, we have full location ability with a map. So eventually, we'll put all these on a map. So you'll know all the board game cafes around you and so on. And that, of course, has limitless potential. Many people have tried it 100 times. But this, actually, we put this live about 2 years ago for an original version, which has been completely rewritten, but I had the same database. And that database, it was a very full map. I mean, if we just pop over to users, you start scrolling down here, you'll hit every single person who's taken a peek at some point in time, which is everyone from Maffey to Stegmaier to Eric Lang to everyone who sort of is interested in this and has actually signed up. So what I currently have is one of the biggest databases of emails in this industry you've ever seen, which is quite nice to have. But even in the few months that we put the original version up, we ended up with just under 700 users, 200 companies, and 210 projects that were created. And then I took it down. Which probably wasn't the smartest move, but I became a much better developer, and I used better technology. And I've now started from scratch, and it's going to be live, absolutely hopefully, October 1st. there's a lot more to talk about. I think we can take most of it in Q&A.
Yeah, one more thing. Important to the people who are here, the collaboration part. We're going to show that.
Oh, of course. What is everything? Right. Fine. Let's go back to a project page. Of course, this is just showing it to the outside world, which is not actually that exciting. So let me just bring something here that is important. So we have collaboration tools, which this is a full-on user chat for everybody who's working on the project and all of that sort of thing. Then we have notes, which would be how we sort of communicate and do stuff back and forth. So if I actually swap over here, this is the site to-do list, which is literally the list of bugs on this site and everything that I need to finish by October 1st. Because how better to test it than literally put it on it. So let's just see here if I can bring this up. So here I am collaborating on my phone. So this is a fully Google Doc, multi-editable, everyone can work together document all at the same time, proper, useful tool. So we have that combined with the chat and combined with the file upload system, that a lot of the work can be done here, which is the idea, and we'll be adding more and more tools as we go, of course, and we'll be looking into what people want. Yes. You.
Yeah, another thing to mention. Another important thing, because we just had the presentation of Diced, we are actually also working with Diced. I don't know how, yeah, there you are. There you are. Yeah, sorry. With Uni and Tommy, and we're looking at how we can integrate the two, because we don't want to do the double feature, so the finding players in your area is going to be a Tabletop Generation feature connected to Diced. We're looking at putting a dice button on the side so that you can see this game is already on Diced or it's coming on Diced. And there's a feature that we're, I don't know, I should mention it, yeah. Because this is something that we're looking at for next year, because you saw the services that is available to put on your profile. One of the services you can choose is Playtester. So as a game designer, you normally either you go to a cafe and you have the group that's there and you get them to playtest, or you playtest with friends and family. On Tabletop Generation, you can literally post a request for playtesters for your game. And they can do a print and play version, or you can literally hook off, like, we will send you the game and you pass it on. And Diced will, in collaboration with us, then develop this playtesting feature on the app, so that while you're playtesting, it's timing the playtest, you can upload the pictures, it comes to your site. On your project there will be a separate tab that shows this is how many playtests that has been done, so a possible publisher that goes and looks at your project can see, okay, they've playtested, 10 times or 500 times, which is quite relevant to a publisher that might be interested in your project.
And we're taking it to reviewing the actual playtesters themselves. So if someone just really wants to be the best playtester in the world and can send all the latest games, if he gets rated up and up and up, he will be the one who gets used. So, yeah.
How many, you can star your playtester based on how much information did I get? Did they actually videotape the entire playtest? Can I look at them playing it? With the rulebook lookup, you can actually do that while playtesting. So every time the button is pushed, which is check the rulebook, you can see if they had to look up something in the rulebook 20 times, you might want to rewrite. Or if there was no rulebook lookup, then obviously you've described the game well enough in the first place. So there's a big collaboration on the different strengths, because we will not be making an app. This is a website that is basically, it's tailored to show up well on your mobile phone, so you can use it on any type of tablet, but we won't have a separate app for it. That would be Diced that will present everything there. So we're obviously hoping that all of you are going to sign up, that is interesting for all of you. It is going to be, all the base features are going to be free to use. It's not going to cost you anything to use the site. Monetization in the future are based on different things. Like, for instance, we are looking at money in escrow. Like, if you're finding an artist at the moment for your game, you find an artist in China who's willing to do your game, but you live in the UK, you don't know the person, you don't know how trustworthy this person is, and they don't know you, so they don't know if you're going to pay after they've done 2 months of work. So basically you can check off your request as in, this is the guy that's getting the assignment, these are the dates to deliver, the money is paid into Tabletop, and then once everything is delivered, everyone is checked off on it, we will pay that artist out. Once both parties have agreed, we take a percent, or we have the interest from the money.
Basically utilizing the system that all freelance sites would use to this day.
So everyone is safe, everyone gets their money, and everyone gets their stuff delivered that they have paid for, basically. And obviously, promotion on the site, we have featured projects, we have possibilities of putting banners up. So there are ways to monetize it without charging the user.
One of the things we looked at, for example, is putting up 2 projects is free, putting up 10, you have to be a premium member, for example. There are ways of quite easily doing it. Give most of the features for free. I mean, we have file upload, for example. You can have, you can have 500 megabytes, you want a gig, you have to pay a little bit. There's always ways of doing it while keeping the base of it absolutely free. And then, of course, the idea of having these presentational pages is then you post it to Facebook, and then you'll bring users back in, and then once we get the designers on board, we then are going to send this out to the actual game players and make it a point where they can interact with the people creating the games, their favourite designers and all that sort of stuff, and create a real good community. And once we start measuring the data, we'll know pretty much exactly how many followers a project has versus how much that project made on Kickstarter, for example, and we'll start measuring the actual worth of the amount of followers on this site going through to Kickstarter, how quickly you get to your goal, and so on. There'll be a lot of data here that will be very interesting for the industry if we can make it a single point.
Another thing that we didn't really show as well is on your project page you can activate looking for publisher, which means that in the search function a publisher can go in and see, okay, this game is actually finished, they're looking for a publisher, they haven't kickstarted yet, they're looking to see if a publisher is interested first. I mean, it's limitless what we can do. We have the base, we want to see how people are using it, what they're using it for, what the feedback is. But this entire site is programmed or made from the bottom up by these extremely talented developers, Signing. So we can do anything. We can make anything, and this is our starting point, which we're hoping is interesting. And there's more stuff. It's just like that every profile is basically tailored to your, like I said, to your service. So an artist has the gallery pages. A reviewer will have a review tabs that is specialized on that.
And there is nothing off the shelf on this whatsoever. I wrote every line. Every last one.
Do you have nightmares over it?
Well, that's the thing. We live in the same house. We're together. We have 2 children. We have the same budget. So obviously server cost. If people start loading 1 terabyte size pictures, will make it take a big chunk out of the food budget. So that's part of maybe limiting that as well.
And I'll also start a new job October 1st. This is what I showed in the interview.
Yeah. So this is getting your jobs already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any questions?
So you went quite quiet about a year or so ago.
Yeah, because I tore it down, tore it apart, and rewrote it.
We were supposed to launch in January,
Right.
actually, and then in December, Angular 2 came out. So James comes into the living room and says, Angular 2 is out, I'm doing it again. So he tore the whole thing down and rebuilt it, basically in Angular 2. So, but it should be steady. We're doing some bug fixes, we're changing some last things, and it is open for everyone right now. I mean, you can go sign up, but again, there might be some bugs. Please let us know if we find any, and we will launch before Essen.
So the stuff we put on before, or those of us who...
I kept the entire database.
Everything
That's
is
still there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I killed all the passwords, but if you do forgot password against an old account, it will hopefully sort itself out. that's the point.
Yeah, okay, good.
Good.
A couple of questions. Firstly, is there some methods of people finding different games, or are you expect? And secondly, yeah, I had a more important. Is there moderation for what goes onto the site, or could anyone put any tosh on and it goes up?
Anyone can put any tosh on and it goes up. However, we do stipulate that we can take it down.
Okay.
So,
And of course, we'll have to set up a mild user-moderated system as well. So if Tosh goes up,
you can report it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we don't want to control so that it takes like 3 weeks before you get to publish what you want to publish. But there's user-controlled control.
We'll have to be using basically the same techniques that YouTube and Facebook uses.
Which is reporting. And about your first question, yes, on your dashboard there's going to be loads of stuff. Based on your services, you're going to see requests for whatever it is you offer in the industry. You can, I don't know if that will be up this year, but maybe next year, that you can set your own preferred mechanics and categories that you'll see on your dashboard. Oh, these games would be interesting to you, maybe. Publishers would be able to set their categories and mechanics like, okay, you can submit your game to us if they meet these criteria, so that you can submit your game to a publisher on the site that you know that publisher would be interested in, because it's basically the type of game that they like.
Yeah, so right now we have global editorial, but we'll start tailoring that down. I mean, it's very easy to start making this quite a bit like Steam, which is show me content that my friends are enjoying. You know, so it would be like, I obviously look at a lot of deck builders, and then it can look at my friends list, and then figure out which my friends have found deck builders that I haven't looked at yet, and that will be what it's pushing. So I'm just getting to the stability level now for the launch, and then I'll start working on this sort of editorial stuff and all these features that people will be wanting.
We're looking at possibly a way with Board Game Geek as well that you can import your own, your old or your current collection, and then you can see on the map like, okay, there's this guy that lives like 3 houses away from you, and you share like 200 of the same games. Like, you should talk.
That there, though, you're looking at the sort of the user, and the player rather than the designer or the publisher.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's something for everyone.
And also within the requests, for example, every profile page we're doing geolocation. You can decide not to show it or not, but we want it in the database. You can say, find me an artist in my city, or find me an artist in my country, or I don't care. So you can try and find someone local to you first to work on the game, which is always beneficial.
Also, when it comes to, for instance, manufacturers, I mean, we've all seen a million Facebook posts saying which manufacturer would you recommend. I'd really like someone local, but I hear this and this and this. Oh, and these are not responding. With a rating system, you can go in and read reviews of a manufacturer. You'd have access to many manufacturers there. You can check, okay, who have used these before? What's their feedback? Do they respond? Do they deliver on time? All the boxes came and they were wet, you know. And,
That's never happened.
Oh, that happened. I read a long thread about that. Oh, yeah.
No, not to us, I mean, 750 games in counting, not one was wet.
No, but to a store then.
Yeah,
We
sure.
used this shipping company, they dented all the boxes,
I believe
or, you
that.
know, we got 2 instead of 700.
Yeah.